President of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), Afan Osigwe San, has strongly condemned the National Assembly's ratification of President Bola Tinubu's declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. This declaration led to the suspension of the elected governor, the deputy governor, and the state assembly members amid a political crisis. But featuring on Arise Television Prime Time on Thursday night, Osigwe emphasized that the NBA views the proclamation of a state of emergency as unconstitutional, rendering any ratification by the National Assembly invalid. He argued that the Constitution does not grant the president the power to remove elected officials such as the governor, the deputy governor, or state legislators under the guise of a state of emergency. According to Osigwe, the NBA's position is clear. The president's actions are unconstitutional, encroachment on democratic governance and the autonomy of state government. He stated, "Our position at the Nigerian Bar Association is that the proclamation of a state of emergency in Rivers State is unconstitutional, and being unconstitutional, and also the removal or suspension of the governor, his deputy, and the State House of Assembly. In our view, these actions are unconstitutional. And being unconstitutional, there is nothing the National Assembly can ratify, because you can't place something on something and expect it to stand." Procedural to from the reports I have read, both chambers of the National Assembly passed the same by voice note to my mind. When a constitution requires that a certain action should be done by two-thirds majority, you don't do so by a voice vote. You take physical votes and count and declare the number of persons present and number of persons who are actually voted to be sure that constitutional requirement has been met. While listening to the Senate President, I heard him talk about Section 114, and I thought that section would have put him on inquiry whether the National Assembly can ratify the President's declaration that the governor stood suspended, and so, like the deputy and the House, because that Section 114 has a provision that the National Assembly cannot remove a governor or his deputy. So if we are a nation truly committed to obeying our laws, I think the laws clearly stared us in the face that there is nothing wrong in ratifying that resolution. I was also meant to understand that there is a proposal to have imminent Nigerians to resolve the issue. And it goes back to our position at the Nigerian Bar Association that the problem in Rivers State cannot be solved by declaration of state of emergency. It could be solved by having a political discourse which involves the major players whose ego have prevented them from placing the people and welfare and security of Rivers State people above every other things. And it is being a case of whom wins, who blinks first, who can pull the contact of the string, whether he takes to win to get the other person out of power. And in the entire thing, the people don't count. The NBA had earlier called on the National Assembly to reject any attempt to ratify the removal of elected officials in Rivers State, emphasizing that the approval of a state of emergency must be based on strict constitutional grounds, not political expediency. The NBA has also warned that suspending elected officials under emergency rule sets a dangerous precedent that undermines democracy and could be misused to unseat elected government in the future. Osigwe stressed that all actions taken in Rivers State must conform strictly to constitutional provisions and Nigerians' democratic norms. In light of this development, the NBA has urged stakeholders, including the judiciary, the civil society, and the international community, to closely monitor the situation in Rivers State to prevent unconstitutional governance and abuse of power. Okay, so guys, what do you think the Nigerian NBA would do? Because they go tell them, say, make them go courts. You understand? This is really very bad, though. Nigeria is becoming something we don't know. Nigeria is becoming something we don't know. Well, I'm dropping it. I'm dropping it here. Please kindly drop your comments below the comment section. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. I beg, share this video, let it go viral. Let Nigerians understand what is happening today in the Nigerian political landscape. Thank you and bye for now.